Hello and welcome to the Tech with Heart show. Tech with Heart's all about empowering entrepreneurs, small business owners, anybody who's wanting to do business online to help them embrace technologies, systems, and strategies that are going to help them stay competitive and relevant in today's digital business landscape. So today we're talking about different marketing ideas, different techniques on how to help you stand out from competitors, you, the small business owner. And so with me, I have a very super special guest. Her name is Katrina Sawa, and she's all about empowering small business owners. I mean, she has got the whole bundle of strategies and topics that'll really help you stop that squirrel mode and go focus on what it is that you need to do that's best for your particular company in a way that's going to help you stand out, but also start generating more money. Cha-ching, cha-ching. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you what people call the JumpStart Your Biz Business Coach, Katrina Sawa. Welcome to the Tech with Heart stage.
Thanks, Michelle. Good to see you again. Woohoo.
Yes, we're happy to have you here. You are very thorough in I've been part of your coaching programs before, and I just really love how you lay it all out. You basically lay out roadmaps for small business owners to keep them from going off on tangents. And sometimes tangents take a while to come back from and recover from. So today's topic, though, is we are talking about what is working, what causes small business owners to separate themselves visibly, strategically from their competitors. So let's go ahead and start with one of your first go-to ideas on how to make that happen, how to make business owners stand out from their competitors, Katrina.
Okay, so I started my business before social media and almost before like websites were even a thing, because it was just focusing on my local area. I didn't know I could get clients everywhere. This was 21 years ago. And so all I did was networking in my local area and did massive follow-up. And I was really good at my follow-up. Most people are not good at their follow-up. So follow-up is one of those things, and specifically direct mail and phone, because we all know we can follow up by email. That's the tech part of it all, right? But emails, even more these days, get lost in spam or trash, especially the first time you email somebody to follow up. So what do? You have to call them and say, hey, it was great meeting you. I just sent you an email. Make sure you look in your spam or trash folder for it, because it's probably sitting over there and it's from this address. And so go look for it because I want to connect with you, right? So you can't just send an email. You have to send a voicemail around that. And most of the time you're going to get voicemail anyways. Nobody answers their phone, it seems like these days. So you're going to go to voicemail. They're going to eventually get it, if not that day or 3 days later, or sometimes 2 weeks later, because people aren't even checking their voicemail. But then on top of that, you got to do direct mail. I know this isn't the tech part of it, but what can be the tech part of it is you can use send out cards. You can use mailbox power. You can delegate it to an assistant. You can have things send from your database. Sometimes some of these softwares like Infusionsoft will send stuff automatically as well. I actually send real hard note cards. I'm actually in the process of doing them right now. So I pre-print them. They have a fun little saying, and then I write a little note on them, or sometimes I delegate it to an assistant to do that. My husband is actually addressing the envelopes as we speak because he's off today, thankfully. There's also tech things around the voicemail broadcast. Now, it used to be way back when I was following up with 5 or 10 people a week, that was not that big a deal. But now if I'm following up with 50 or 100 a week, I'm sending more voice broadcasts, which go right to voicemail so that people don't drop the call. But it's a much more efficient way to reach a lot of people, and you can still make it very personal. So those are some tips that I think that make you stand out, because if you have the right address for somebody, it's guaranteed to be open these days.
And so when it comes to gathering, because a lot of people don't want to just give up their information so freely. I mean, usually when it comes to lead magnets, small business owners only ask for just a name, not even a whole name, but just maybe a first name and then an email address. And then as they nurture down the funnel, as the person seems to be more engaging, then they ask, hey, so would you be open to receiving a special gift in the mail? Is that kind of how do you go about collecting the addresses, Katrina?
Yes, sometimes, but sometimes, so the initial opt-in free gift is still typically the name, first name, last name, and email. I still ask for last name. Most people don't hesitate with giving you their last name. And if you ever need to, never mind. So that's important. Sometimes like when I'm doing a free webinar or a masterclass, I'm going to give a lot of great content. And for an hour of my time, I think it's valuable for you to give me your full contact information. And I think that's an even trade for you getting an hour of training from me for free. So something like that, I definitely ask for full contact information. Now, somebody could give me the wrong information. They could. But then, the most people don't, because it kind of autofills a lot of times now with phones and computers when you start typing in some stuff in the forms. Occasionally I have a lot of books. So I will say, hey, I'm giving away 10 free books. All you have to do, sometimes I'll do it for free, or maybe I'll do a digital copy of my book. Well, in order to get a digital copy of my full book, I'm going to collect full contact information. If I'm giving away actual print books in the mail, I might ask for shipping or something like that. So I might ask for $3 or $4 or whatever. And so therefore, when they have to put their credit card in, then I have to get the full contact information anyways. There's lots of ways that you can do that. I don't necessarily, and same thing goes for if you're doing a free strategy session or a free consult, full contact information. It's That's your time, great. It's your value. Yeah.
The more value you offer, the more you expect them to at least be willing to give up their business address, for heaven's sakes, right? Yeah. It's like, and also I have seen that if you mention that you would like to send them a gift, people are pretty excited to receive gifts.
Yes.
And if giving them giving you their business address should never feel weird, because they're in business to connect with other businesses to like possibly collaborate or do business with one another. So
yeah.
I'm glad you brought up so many different avenues though, because it was really helpful. So you were talking about follow up being one of your strategies for helping you as a small business owner to uniquely separate yourself and stand out really from your competitors. And why are people failing so epically when it comes to just something so simple as follow up? Tell me, how many times do we need to be in front of somebody before they, lock in? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the biggest reason people don't follow up is they're thinking they're going to bug somebody or bother them, right? But what happens is like people are so busy. Everybody, I'm busy, you're busy, we're all really busy. And we actually, for the people that we want to connect with, we appreciate that additional follow-up. Oh, thanks for the reminder. I hadn't gotten to that yet. So you have to think like that. When you're following up with your people, you have to think they're waiting for you because they're too busy, and you're the one that needs to remind them until they finally take a second to do whatever it is that you said you were going to do, make a scheduled call or whatnot. And it used to be, I've been in marketing all my life. Okay. So I used to come from advertising sales, and I've been in marketing trainings, and that's what I had my degree in. And it used to be like 7 touches was the follow-up. Now I say it's 28 touches because we got to do like 2 or 3 emails, a couple of voicemails. We have to do a couple things in the mail. We have to do like private messaging on all the different platforms. We might have to post on their wall. In order to get their attention, let's face it, we have to do a lot of different things to catch somebody's attention, because out of all of those things that I just rattled off, they might only see one or hear one. And so they're just not hearing it because there's too much else going on in their world and too many places they're checking. Let's face it.
I'm going to add one more thought on that process, because I get, I'm a very, very busy CEO, right? So I know that I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, really want to authentically connect with everybody at a deeper level. But do I always have the time when they're ready to go there, right? So when you do your follow-up messaging, it's really, I think, important to always keep in mind that you possibly are reaching out to an incredibly busy individual. Small business owners are always busy. We're always just grinding, we're just like doing our thing, and we're trying to build our teams, or we're trying to scale our businesses. So keep that in mind. And in your messaging, I would also recommend, don't make it all about you and what you can do for them. Make it more conversational, multiple outreaches that are conversational, saying, and write yourself notes when you do meet with people. Somehow write yourself notes about so-and-so so that you can even mention something that's a little bit more personal to them when you do that follow-up, because that makes them feel valued, seen, and heard. And that's so important these days, making people feel valued, seen, and heard. That really shortcuts that conversion rate, because then they start to feel like, hey, man, I can know, like, and trust this person. And that is a big win, shortening that distance between 1 to 5 follow-ups to 28, pieces or whatever you're talking about. So I know message matters, and we have multiple other episodes where we talk about messaging. In fact, we talked about this a couple weeks ago at this LinkedIn. When you go and you engage with people's posts, just compliment them on the question and share your insights, but you're not asking them to buy into your program. You're not asking them to do anything that would be like a grind against their business model. And so anyway, those are some things I would like to mention. But I know how, when you're saying it's hard to get everybody's attention, so how important is the uniqueness of what you're doing? You're talking about wow factor. Let's go into that wow factor now. What are some things that are so simple, really, but it creates that wow factor when you want to stand out and separate yourself from your competitors?
Yeah, the wow factor is that repetitive, connective, responsive, and personal. Like you said, the messaging is so important, and keeping track of what people really want information on. For example, like, I know a lot of people are not necessarily meeting in person again, but I've already been to 2 events and just in the last 30 days. And I'm an exhibitor a lot of times, or a speaker or something. And so I get like this little questionnaire. I won't tell you the name or person, but I put things on my questionnaire, like, what do you want more information on? Do you want a free consult? Do you want to generate leads? Do you want to become a speaker? Do you want to write books? And so they check off the things that are most important to them. And that makes it really easy for me to do that follow-up. So that is more memorable. It provides that wow experience. The other thing is you can send fun things in the mail. So sometimes I'll send out my stop it buttons, that are really fun. It has a voice on it. I'll send out some paddles, for Zoom calls and things like that. Or I have these little tiny notebooks that fit in a note card, and they're just little teeny journals for ideas and have positive inspiration sayings on them. I send out a little journal for my speaker network, new members. And so they get a little journal, and just those little things that don't have to cost a lot of money, but make a big impact and a wow, because there's nobody doing that. Not unless you sign up for their event and they're sending you a big wow box, right? Which I've done as well for many of my virtual events. But that's the only thing these days that people are even doing. And it's usually only the bigger name people who are doing that kind of marketing.
Being able to do business online is crucial for survival, especially during times of social distancing. So how do you survive and thrive in the sea of digital noise? It's a lot like fishing. You need to know who your perfect customer is so that you could use the right kind of lure to attract them. We help you catch your perfect customer and retain them for future sales through highly converting websites, influencer mobile apps, getting you featured in the news and on TV. Hi, my name is Jerry Bowden, U.S. Army veteran and president of Revealio Software Solutions. Our goal is to help you rise above the competition, be seen as an expert authority in your industry, and embrace technology to stay competitive for long-term success. It's more affordable than you may think. So reach out to us at revealio.com, and together we will make your business come alive.
So wow doesn't have to be a grand expense.
No.
Wow just is like, we call them high touch. High touch things, small, sometimes seemingly not so wow factor, but what it does is it goes straight to the heart of the person on the receiving end, and it causes them to go, oh, now that is a good response. Oh,
like there's videos these days, you like bomb, and you talk about tech, right? You can do private personal videos to people that you can send via email. You can do a little voicemail on Facebook Messenger, right? So if you're connected with them, you can say, hey, it was great to see you. Like a 10-second, like if you don't have to leave their voicemail, you don't even have to have their phone number. You can do that on Facebook if you can find them. So those are just some little ways that really make that extra touch, because not a lot of people do that.
And it shows your human side, right? It shows your desire to connect with them. And that these days is a wow factor, to be honest. And it's not all about you. It's you saying, hey, I was really excited to meet you. Boy, it would be great to connect further. And don't just to do that once, because that could have landed on a day when they didn't have the bandwidth to respond even. So I'm loving this conversation. And I know Revelio, you know, I got into doing Tech with Heart as an initial initiative, but now it's a full nonprofit organization in which we want to bring heart-centered, but yet forward-thinking and innovative entrepreneurs together, where we can, you know, bounce ideas off of each other and feel safe to ask questions about technologies. I know you mentioned send out cards and mailbox power. Those are two very powerful tools that incorporate tech with like the old school idea of make people feel valued, seen, and heard by receiving.
Your cards are even better. And I didn't even say that. Yeah, your cards are so much better because they come alive. So
yeah, and then you can add Revelio's augmented reality technology. And that's like a whole nother episode I'm going to be doing, because it is like, there's just so many unique ideas. And I'm loving this conversation. We're going to move now into, okay, I know you have a speakers network. You've built a speakers network. And I know the one-to-many model is so much more powerful. You say you were often an exhibitor. So that's kind of like almost like a trade show, but you're doing it at smaller events. Tell us a little bit more about how many people you believe you need to be in front of per month in order to start uniquely separating yourself from your competitors.
Well, I used to say 1,000, like 1,000 people per month on top of your regular email list, because you have to get in front of there's 3 types of marketing. There's the new business marketing, which is you're getting in front of people that don't know you, and you have to kind of get them into your world and entice them with free stuff, right? So they get on your email list. Then there's the database marketing, which is the database, the people in your email list and or connected to you on social media. And then there's referral source marketing. So referral source marketing is reaching out to people like you who might have a community, and maybe I can speak to your group, and that's you're referring me via an email or something like that. You should go check out Katrina's event or whatever. That's referral source marketing. And if you do all 3 of those effectively and consistently, you can get in front of 2,000 people a month. I believe if you're getting in front of enough people, you have to, because like I said, the majority are not paying attention. So if you get in front of 2,000 new people, or just in general every month, you'll be lucky if you have a handful of people who are paying attention and maybe interested in raising their hand to talk to you or take a next step. It is that kind of a numbers game. And most people, entrepreneurs, are only talking to maybe a couple dozen plus their email list, but they're not growing their email list because they're not promoting their free thing and growing their list. So you have to pay attention to these lead generation, marketing, follow-up, and sales strategies, or it's just going to be, you're going to be dead in the water and stagnant. And I don't want to see that.
Absolutely. And that's why I love what you do. I mean, you really do. You take small businesses into the weeds and building, you know, looking at their roadmap, figuring out where their gaps are. And I know you have a free gift that you're going to offer here in a second, but let's first, you know, finalize this idea of getting in front of others. But okay, let's just say you're a marketing expert. All right. So you're now on stage or you're speaking, you know, how do you encourage small business owners to uniquely separate themselves as far as who they are and how they solve problems in their niche versus their competitors? Do you have any thoughts on that unique differentiator, we call it?
Well, you got to be memorable. So of course you got to be known for something. I'm known for the jumpstart, right? A jumpstart of something. I jumpstart people's businesses, their marketing, their book, their whatever. So that's what I've been known for. You got to be known for something, and you got to be memorable. You got to make sure you tell some stories or get vulnerable so they remember, oh yeah, she's the one with a starter husband and now she has a keeper husband, right? And so I tell that story sometimes. It's very memorable. You got to, you know, that's how they remember you, so that you're top of mind when they talk to somebody else who might need your services, for sure.
So that's also very much part of what we call branding.
Yes.
Yes, branding yourself as as a business owner, but then you may have a separate brand for your company and its services, but you uniquely need to stand out as the leader of your company. And so I love that. I know about you, Katrina, is that you're all about love, because everywhere you go, you either wear it on your neck or you have it in your background or it's just on your posts. And so Katrina Sawa is all about love. But what is that latest book you wrote about? Love Yourself Successful. Look, it's right there on her background. And you'll notice on my background, I represent 2 amazing companies too. And I put it on my background. So I don't have to always necessarily say the name, but you see the name. And I think that being able to be seen when you even are on audio only platforms, I think it's important to be doing video as well, capturing yourself speaking as many times as possible and then sharing that on social media. That's another techie way to separate yourself from others. Don't be ordinary, be extraordinary, create value and record it and then share it.
Yes. And that's what you're saying is also positioning. I call it positioning. So branding can go hand in hand with that. But positioning is how you look on your Zoom room, how you look on your website, how you look on social media, what you look like when you're out in person. Do you look put together or do you not so much, right? Even when I was overweight, we were talking about that earlier, like I still tried to wear really professional clothes because it makes a difference, right? So really look how you look from others because they will judge, unfortunately, right? And prejudge. So
yeah. Well, I love this conversation. You've been so valuable. Can you go ahead and share what your free gift is and where business owners can reach out to you or access that free gift, which I know it talks about the gap. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I created this. Well, there's 5 areas that a business owner really needs to look at. And most of the time, those are the areas that they need to make the littlest of tweaks in order to see a lot more revenue consistently. And so I cover those 5 areas in a biz quiz that I have. It's the JumpStart Your Biz Quiz, jumpstartyourbizquiz.com. And it's free. You just take the quiz and it'll tell you, you'll uncover like, where are the areas that I really need to focus my efforts in and what can I do to make a bigger difference to move the needle in my cash flow. So that's, first of all, something that you should take for sure. And then you'll usually get a training at the end of that. You'll get my 8 secrets to a consistent cash flow webinar. You can come to a call with me. I also have a free trainings page on my resources page on my website at jumpstartyourbiznow.com. There's a lot of other stuff there too. So just go, I'm all about free first, then pay, just like you should be too. Most people that, come to your website or that don't know you at all, you need to give them a free way to experience you and your trainings before they're going to jump in typically. So happy to share more.
Yes. And where would they go if they just wanted to possibly set up a consultation with you to talk about their business specifically?
Yeah, on just the main webpage, jumpstartyourbiznow.com. The homepage has it. The resources page has it. The free trainings page has it. You can't miss it. Come on. Yeah. I mean, you got to put it everywhere. So,
and it's so important to make it easy for people to find out how to get a hold of you.
It really is.
So you've covered a lot of high valuable ideas on how to send out and uniquely away from your competitors. So can you give us one lasting thought that you would like to leave impression upon people's minds as they leave this interview today?
Well, I have a lot of clients who I would say hold themselves back from sharing stuff and content or stories. And especially when they're trying to think of what to post on social media, I would say just post whatever's on top of your brain, post it. Whatever's next on top of your brain, post it, because all the things that you post will contribute to the whole experience of you. And so just don't question it. Don't question, is this the right thing? Should I add more tips? Just freaking share more stuff. Okay. And don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. That's a good one. Don't overthink it. Well, this has been awesome. If you're tuning in right now and you are a small business owner who really does struggle a little bit with embracing technologies, or maybe you just need better strategies, or even how to embrace certain systems in your business to help you scale your business, we encourage you to go check us out at techwithheartnetwork.com, because that is where we are building a nurturing learning environment for free or for a higher pay, where you can get even more exposure as an influencer in your own right and within the community. go to techwithheartnetwork.com. If you're an expert and you would like to give valuable insights and guidance back to our entrepreneurial audience, we can invite you onto the Tech with Heart show. We can invite you to come speak at our monthly networking events. We are really here to help everybody grow alongside one another, but in a safe and nurturing and unedgy environment. We always are thinking about what can we do to make sure we're staying competitive and relevant with today's business trends and embracing technology in a fun way that keeps humanity and human connection and relationship building at the core of everything that we teach. So here is to your success.
Your story needs to be seen and heard, and your brand needs to be revealed. Revealio elevates purpose-driven businesses into the spotlight through video storytelling, augmented reality video marketing, and professional website design. Get discovered online or in the news. Be featured in national magazines or host your own TV, podcast, or live radio show. Together, we make your brand come alive. All it takes is Revealio. Visit Revealio.com to get started today. Minority and service disabled veteran owned.